Something huge is happening in the world of AI. It's crazy to think about, but ChatGPT, which was released to the public just 3 years ago, is already outdated because some smart tech wizards have figured out how to upgrade AI to work and think all on their own. We are entering the era of AI agents. So in this video, I want to talk about why I think this will be the single most important skill for 2025. And whether you're a student, knowledge worker, creator, or entrepreneur, what you can do to take advantage of it today. So what's the big deal about AI agents? Well, let me explain with a little analogy to my favorite sport, basketball. So we all know that individual players, right? There are some people who are really good at shooting three-pointers or making assists or dunking or blocking the ball. But as we've also seen throughout the years, as gifted as someone as like LeBron James is, you can't really carry a team on your back consistently year after year. But the difference between the teams that usually succeed is not just any individual player, but how they all work together. The coach of the team is responsible for understanding each individual player, the needs of the whole team as a system, and building a good team chemistry so they can win games. Coach doesn't make the winning plays, they just create the plan for the winning plays. Right now, most of the world, most people think about using AI as a player. We're getting really good at specializing into an AI tool. And don't get me wrong, that's a way faster workflow than we've ever had before. You know, you can spend like an hour chatting one-on-one with ChatGPT and get massive results that would have taken hours and hours, even weeks before that. But things are moving pretty fast, and that back and forth dynamic, prompting an AI, waiting for feedback, giving it more feedback and instructions, and repeating that cycle, it's starting to actually fall behind. The problem here is that although AIs are really powerful for what they can do, it still requires a lot of human input and direction to get really good prompts. At least that's how it was going until we now have AI agents. So here's how AI agents work. Instead of giving it very specific tasks, what we can do now is give it a complex problem up front, and your AI agent will go out on its own and tackle that problem using different tools that it has access to, using code bases, using any resources in the way that it thinks is best. And before it returns an answer to us, it's going to observe and evaluate, okay, what did it actually get here? And it will actually continue to course correct and work on its own prompts until it arrives at a conclusion that it thinks we actually wanted. We're moving away from AI needing hyper-specific inputs and instructions to get outputs. Now, just think for a second how crazy that actually is. Because if AI agents can accomplish the specialized work that most of us train almost our whole lives, or at least years to master and fine-tune, it puts knowledge workers in a very peculiar spot. It's not a surprise that a lot of people are afraid that these AI tools and AI agents are going to replace their jobs. But there's something also really important to understand here. Because as we've seen in the past, when technology reaches a new level, then sure, a lot of existing jobs are removed from the market beforehand. But what that also opens is opportunities for many new jobs to enter the market, right? Think of it even 20 years ago. Jobs like YouTuber, social media manager, marketer, AI automators, none of those things existed. And so a lot of jobs are going to be removed. That is a fact. But I think the real opportunity lies in what are all the new possible jobs that are going to come from this? Because it's going to force people to become innovators, visionaries, creatives, or people who have ideas. Ideas are going to be more important in the future than doing the specialized work. Have you guys ever played the game Age of Mythology or Age of Empires, where you get a town center, you get some villagers, and you can start building houses and barracks and armies and going to conquer other territories and stuff like that? That's kind of how things are moving towards right now. We're all basically going to be puppet masters, and we're going to have these robots that can carry out all the tasks that we don't actually want to do, or we don't need to spend time doing, because it's going to be more important for us to stay big picture, right? You don't have to have the knowledge about how to gather wood and put a barracks together and then train your soldiers and build crossbows and churn those people out. You just have to have the big idea that I need an army, right? There's a big difference in that systems kind of thinking. I don't come from a technical background. I never learned how to code. I didn't study computer science at all, but there are already some tools on the market like Replit that are allowing people like me who just have ideas for apps to use AI agents that will build it for me, right? Imagine getting to skip past 5 or 6 years of hard learning and coding and just using a system, but still being able to produce functional and beautiful software. That's why I think if any companies should be shaking in their boots right now, it is software companies, SaaS companies, because the solutions that they sell might be accessible to any creator or entrepreneur who just understands the problem well enough to direct AI agents to build something that's more customized and perfect for their own needs. But the implications go way beyond just building software. It's building curriculums, reforming the education system, helping you with even personal problems. Like you can build AI agents that become consultants, therapists, coaches, right? Imagine that instead of going to school when you're in a classroom of 300 people learning a generalized curriculum, an AI agent could personalize a curriculum for each individual student based on their needs, based on where they're currently at and what their interests are. That is no longer a far-fetched idea. This is the future that huge companies like OpenAI, DeepSeek, Microsoft, Anthropic, they're all pioneering and moving AI towards right now. And so getting back to the main question, I think that the most important skill for 2025 is going to be to understand how to work with AI and build AI agents. But how do we make that shift happen? Because I'm going to be completely honest, this stuff is complicated. It's not something that you're going to be able to pick up by listening to YouTube videos at the gym or on your commute or something. And I know right now there are a ton of videos on YouTube or social media where people are making bold ass claims like how to get rich with AI agents and stuff like that. I think it's a really motivating and inspiring idea. And I think there is a way for us to get there even faster. It's not because technology is lacking, right? The ability to do it is there. It's the implementation and the execution that's holding us back. Let's go back to our basketball analogy for a second. The most successful coaches, those coaches were most of the time players at one point before, right? They probably weren't like the best players. They weren't like the top cream of the crop, but they're players who understood the nuances of the game, the perspectives, the details, and they were involved in it. And they deeply understood the pain and the problems that other players on the court faced. In order to build this skill of working with AI and building AI agent solutions, you have to find a problem that you have experience in as a player, but with the thinking of a coach. What they need is someone at the higher level to help direct the entire operation. For starters, I've been building an AI clone, which is an AI agent system that knows everything about how to create really engaging content for YouTube and for education. Because the specific problem that I want to tackle is how do we take education and make it more enjoyable and also more valuable and useful for any business out there? Because at the end of the day, every single business is an education business. You have to educate about the problem you're solving. You have to educate the public about your products, about your services, about why it's the better solution and why it's right for them. Start with a problem and build an AI agent solution around it. That is where something really useful can be born. It's not about understanding how to build an AI agent. It's why are you building an AI agent? What problem am I really trying to solve with AI agents? I think that little nuance there, the player to coach mindset, will be the unlock for how to make this most important skill valuable in 2025. So although AI has been deeply integrated into my workflows for the past few years, I am not an expert at AI at all. I am not a developer, like I said, but I am pretty good at learning things. And really one of the most valuable things for me with AI so far has just been understanding how to prompt it better for better outputs. And so if you were interested in seeing a deep dive video where I explore that, check out this video over here.